Hello, my name is Ben Nowell, and I'm the Director of Patient-Centered Research at the Global Healthy Living Foundation and CreakyJoints patient community. And I'm also the Principal Investigator of our ArthritisPower research registry, a patient-powered research network that we started 6-7 years ago with the rheumatology researchers at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. I'm delighted today to provide an overview of our poster presentation. It's abstract number 546, and the lead author on this study and on the poster, sorry, the PI of the study and the lead author on the poster is Alexis Ogdy. She's a rheumatologist at Penn School of Medicine in Philadelphia. So the title of this poster is Stepping Up for Inflammatory Arthritis. It was a pilot trial to test behavioral economic strategy to increase physical activity in inflammatory arthritis. So just to give a little context, we know that regular physical activity may have benefits for patients with inflammatory arthritis, specifically in this case, rheumatoid arthritis or RA, and psoriatic arthritis or PsA. But patients with active disease often don't want to increase their activity for a number of reasons. So we know from behavioral economics, which is a field that combines psychology and economics, we know that this theory of loss aversion has been effective at motivating behavior, increase physical activity in non-arthritis patients. So the objective of this study was to assess the feasibility and efficacy of a loss aversion financial incentive for increasing step counts and improving disease symptoms among RA and PsA patients with active disease. So what we did is we designed a double-blind randomized control 6-month pilot trial with patients with RA and PsA, and we required that to be eligible, participants needed to have active disease, which was defined as 1 or more swollen joint and a rapid 3 score that was greater than 3. And as you'll recall, the range on the rapid 3 measure is from 0 to 30, with a score lower than 3 indicating remission. So the primary outcome that we looked at in this was a change in a rapid 3 score between the 2 arms. We also collected other measures, and visits and weekly check-ins occurred using a virtual trial platform. So we used Way to Health and also the ArthritisPower app. So ArthritisPower was used specifically for rapid 3. And we also collected a number of other measures: patient pain, patient global, PROMIS, sleep interference, the PROMIS fatigue measure throughout the trial. So the way it worked is that patients who enrolled in the trial were given a commercial grade smartwatch. So in this case, it was a Fitbit Alta. So they received that at baseline, and then they completed a 2-week run-in period to assess their average step count. So we wanted to get a sense from each patient about how many steps they were normally going each day. And then patients were then asked to choose or set their own step count goal, for each day, and then complete a commitment contract. So after selection of their step count goal, then participants were randomized to either the intervention or no intervention. And in this case, the intervention was that financial incentive. So the arm that was part of the intervention arm, they received this financial loss aversion incentive, which basically meant that each month, patients would start with $75 in their account, and they would lose $2.50 for each day that they did not reach their step count goal. And then after 12 weeks of the intervention, so at week 14 of the trial, the incentive was removed, and then patients were continued to be followed all the way up to 26 weeks, so we could see how long the effect persisted, the effect of the incentive. So in our trial, in the small trial, we randomized 27 patients. 22 of them completed the trial, and on average, receiving the incentive actually resulted in more steps per day, 714 more steps per day on average over the first 14 weeks. And it also resulted in a greater probability of reaching, 10,000 steps per day. There was not a significant difference in the RAPID-3 score at 14 weeks across, comparing intervention versus the non-intervention arm. But after adjusting for baseline RAPID-3, the 14-week RAPID-3 scores were lower so means better control of disease activity, in the group that achieved their step count goals at least half of the time. And that was a difference that exceeded the minimal clinically important difference for the RAPID-3. Among the patients who achieved their step count goals more than half of the days, we also observed that there was more improvement in their sleep quality and their fatigue and their overall well-being, so on those other symptom measures that we captured. So in conclusion, a couple things to say about this. One is that it's pretty exciting that we can do these kinds of trials that are essentially completely virtual or almost completely virtual to collect information from patients, both in a passive way using a smartwatch, and then also having them complete their patient-reported outcome measures. And we learned that although financial incentives have worked well in patients without arthritis, the estimated effect of the financial incentive in this very small study was modest for patients with RA and PSA. However, those that were able to increase their physical activity and meet their step count goals did have greater improvement in their symptoms over the course of the study. But again, I think the real excitement of a study like this is that it demonstrates that it's feasible to do this kind of remote data capture for a trial of this kind. Thanks for your interest.